Hey guys, welcome back to Permasand Invitational. I know these uploads are getting fewer and fewer, and that's because we are very deep in the tour. In fact, we're almost done. This is the third place match in that the loser here will be out in third place. Now, granted, they still make money. They get 20% of the overall jackpot, which is not bad at all for playing Pokemon. But the person who wins here goes to the grand finals and still has the potential to win the entire tournament, though they would have to beat Soulwind twice in a best of three, which is obviously very difficult. He's one of the hottest players on Smogon this year, and he is the classic champion. But, I mean, it's Pokemon. It can happen. These are two very talented potential challengers here. Malekith was not initially invited to this tour, as a lot of you guys know, but he has proven ABR and I wrong. He has proven that he obviously should have been invited initially to the tour, and he is charged all the way to the top three here. Starmaster, on the other hand, I am 0% surprised to see here. He seems to be very consistent in everything that he does, and here he is making money from me once again. Not the first time, probably not the last time that I'm going to be paying out Starmaster. So Malekith, being the guy who came from the upper bracket, had the decision of where to start in this set. He opted for black and white, and even though it has been a tour heavily dominated by sand balance teams, we're actually looking at a rain mirror match here. And they do have a few things in common, but there's actually quite a few differences between the teams. They actually only have the three pokes in common, three different, in this rain mirror match. So let's see how it plays out. Malekith is bottom side, Stars on the top, and they're both going to go with Ferrothorn right out the gate. It's going to be knockoff and knockoff. Fair enough. So both of them lose their item immediately. Hazards up, hazards up. Pretty standard so far, just a complete mirror at this time. They both do have a Tentacruel with Rapid Spin, presumably, and neither one has a Ghost. Here's the switch to Thundy, and finally the first deviation. Star stays in to get more spikes up. Thundy comes in to do its thing offensively. It's going to sub up on the switch as Lati comes in. Dragon Pulse going to pop that, of course, and there's the HP Ice for 48%. Pretty good chunk. Nevertheless, Thundy retreats. Ferrothorn comes in. Thinks his opponent's stuck on Dragon Pulse. Almost certainly is. Going to do 22 there, and then another 22. Well, knockoff is going to make him not stuck on it anymore by knocking off the choice specs, but nevertheless, the follow-up is Dragon Pulse, and it is good enough. Starmaster with the lead in the best of three, starting things out 6-5 in game one. Rapid Spin comes down, so no more hazards beneath Malekith, and here is Thundy. And there's Rapid Spin for Star as well, so no hazards for either guy, but Starmaster flat out up a Pokemon. Here comes Lando. There is Thunder. And it's going to prompt a switch. Hidden Power, however, is not the prediction that he was going for. He was hoping for a different switch, obviously, and that's going to prompt Star back. He's going to get the rain going with the first appearance from either player, from Politoed. Here's Scald. Weak damage, no burn, and he's going to be locked on that with the Encore, which he very well may stay in and keep scalding, and he does. He again doesn't find the burn, and Politoed returns the favor with a Scald. Also doesn't find the burn. Both going to do it again. Still no. And still no. The burn not coming for either guy. There's been 5 Scalds between the two players. Here's number 6. The fourth one for Malekith does finally find a burn. Starmaster finds a crit, which, I mean, better than nothing, but he doesn't find the burn for himself here either. And Malekith content to stay in here. Doesn't feel like he's got a great switch. He definitely has a bunch of things that do not want to get burnt, so kind of risky on his end to switch, say, the Gyarados in here, for example. Something that definitely doesn't want to catch a burn. And now we discover why Starmaster has been so content to do this and doesn't give a shit. He's got Refresh on his Toad, doesn't care the whole time about the burn, removes the status problem. Now he does get caught here with Toxic, and he still, again, fails to find his own burn, but he can just refresh that away. He goes for Scald on the switch, and man, he is just not catching the added effect. He once again does not find the burn on the opposing Politoed. Here's yet another Scald and yet another lack of a burn. Star has really not caught breaks with that added effect, and the Politoed, even though it had many chances there, is finally out of chances. It does die to Thunder, and we find ourselves in a 5-5. Latios again goes Dragon Pulse, but remember, he's no longer stuck on that because he did get his choice specs knocked off. He switches it up to Draco Meteor, and Tentacruel goes down. Starmaster retakes the lead. Now it is 5-4. Kyurem comes in, Gyarados comes in, both for the first time. There's a DD and a sub. Ice Beam with a crit is obviously going to break it. I don't know Black-White Calcs well enough to know whether or not that would have broken it without, but the timer an issue for both of them. You guys can't see it, but Malekith on that turn went down to 5 seconds and is barely rebuilding his timer. He's up to 10 seconds. Starmaster also dangling a bit low, but not quite as low at this time as Malekith. Waterfall and then Ice Beam crit. There have definitely been some hacks in this game, but the boosted Gyra is really one crit or one flinch away from things getting really ugly. And there's a third Dragon Dance on the switch. This thing is getting out of control. It goes for bounce and gets out of the way. A Power Whip. Big attack incoming. Ferrothorn sucks it up and lives, however, and as long as he doesn't miss Power Whip, he'll kill the Gyra. He connects when he needs to, and Star gets an even bigger lead now, 5-3. Power Whip does not break the sub that the Thundy makes here, and it's going to have a free opportunity to attack from behind it. Thunder obviously good enough in this situation. 3-4 now with Star still ahead. Lando comes in, but we know there's HP Ice there. He has to sacrifice it, it looks like, just to pop the sub. He's going to resub, and there's Hidden Power yet again. And there's the obligatory Hidden Power Ice back to take it out. Leaves us in a 3-3. So Malekith once again ties us up. But the Lati, a continuous issue for him. No good switch in. It's Draco Meteor, 64%. May or may not kill the Poly on the follow-up. But he's going to switch it to Keldeo to be extra safe. He still takes a 46% chunk, but he will survive. Hydro Pump connects when it needs to. And now Malekith with his first lead of the game. Again, the timer is low for both players. Could be an issue. There's the roost to get the Kyurem back to full. Goes Ice Beam and a freeze on Politoed. Doesn't thaw, and Star is catching the breaks now when he needs to after getting a bit unlucky earlier. Scald from a thawed out Toad, but he doesn't break the sub. Protect for lefties, and Earth Power is the play from Starmaster. Ice Beam again, 21%, doesn't refreeze, and Encore says that he must continue to Ice Beam if he's going to stay in. And indeed, that's what he does. He's going to Ice Beam again. Obviously, it's protected against by Malekith's Politoed, goes up to 26%. Ice Beam leaves him at just 3%, but fails to refreeze. And there's a popped sub, which remember, he can't remake the sub. He is encored on Ice Beam, which he obliges and goes for. That's going to do a lot to Keldeo, but not quite enough. It's a double back to Thundy, and a great double indeed for Malekith. He ends up with Thundy on Tenta here. Big opportunity for damage. Oh, wow. And Starmaster's going to time out of game one. I'm not sure. Wow, that is not the way you want to lose game one in the third place set. I guess he was having some lag issues. He claims in the comments here that he clicked at the 5-second mark. He was only at about 20 or 30, let me scroll up, 30 seconds about at the start of the turn. So, I mean, he didn't have a ton of time, but, I mean, he had enough to have made this decision. He admits that he tanked for a while. He said that he made the decision at about the 5-second mark, which is a perfectly legal play. That's just clock management, and it happens in every major tournament, so nothing wrong. But whether it's just a bad internet connection or something wrong with the server or some lag or whatever it is, he is going to not get that command in on time, and he is going to miss at just a terrible time. Now, did it cost him the game? I don't know. I don't know Black-White well enough to really, really know, but I think that this game still could have gone either way. The Thunder that was coming on this turn from the Thundy, I mean, if it's faster, I don't know this tier well enough, but if the Thundy's faster, which I assume that it is, I think that the Thunder does a ton to the Tentacruel, and then it leaves Malekith in a good position. But I mean, maybe the Kyurem can win. I really don't know this tier well enough to absolutely know, but I think it would have been close, and I think this game, at very least, was not 100% decided either way, even if one player was more favored than the other. I think that there is no 100% path for either guy, and there's an argument that either player could have still won this game. But unfortunately, Starmaster knows the rules and he doesn't try to argue it at all. He is a tournament vet. He knows how it is. This result has to stand. So it's going to be Malekith winning game one, even if it is an unfortunate fashion. And it's going to be on Star to figure out what to do next. So hopefully in real time, he took a minute to catch a breather, compose himself, not get tilted by the timeout, and rally back to win 2 more games, which have to be in whatever order, Gen 3 and Gen 4. He has the choice of where to go next, and he's opting to bring us to Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Remember, these are best of threes. That is one of the key differences from the late stages of other tours that I've hosted, such as Callus Invitational. It is not a best of 5. I was originally planning to do that, but we asked the players what they wanted, and they said they wanted best of threes. So we gave the players what they asked for. Here we are, best of 3. That means that Starmaster is 1 game away from elimination and a 3rd place finish, and that would leave us with an all-Spanish final between Malekith and Soulwind if Malekith can beat Star in this game or a theoretical Game 3. So here it is. I'm going to switch the sides for continuity. Sorry, I forgot for a moment there. Malekith is on the bottom, Star is on the top. We have Azelf and T-Tar. There's a crunch. Azelf takes a ton, and he's going to set up rocks, but he's probably pretty dead here. No pursuit. It is just another crunch, and that's going to connect with Breloom, who's going to come in pretty safely here, activate Toxic Orb, all that good stuff. Rotom comes in as the potential Spore fodder, and indeed it is an immediate Spore, so Rotom going to take a nap. And there's the switch to Gliscor. Seed Bomb coming down, 33%, decent chunk, but Gliscor very bulky and resilient. Rachi comes in as the response, and it is a Roost turn to get the Gliscor back up to 100%. Better to be safe early on since we are not quite clear what either player has for a team. Certainly on Star's end, he'd rather play it safe when he's not quite sure what he's up against yet. Some kind of stall team for sure. He's got the defensive-minded Gliscor. He's got the Rotom. He's got Clef and Skarm. Definitely playing a stallish game, whereas it looks like maybe a mid-range or an offense for Malekith. And it's going to be Malekith taking the early lead, connecting with Stone Edge twice against Skarm, taking that out. Spikes did get down, but obviously not a good trade. And Starmaster now busting out Wing Attack on Gliscor. I don't know. I haven't seen that much in DPP, I'll tell you that. So not entirely clear on what that means the set is. We've only seen Roost and Wing Attack, but I know that Wing Attack is not typically on Gliscor, so weird set that I'm not used to seeing here for Star. Gliscor comes in again, and it takes about the same damage it did last time from the Seed Bomb, 33 last time, 32 this time, whatever. Here comes Starmie, and there is Roost. Both players are still dealing with hazards at the moment. There's rocks and there's spikes. We know there's at least one player with a spinner, Malekith, but Star hasn't shown one, though he does still have an unrevealed, as does Malekith. There is Rapid Spin, but T-Tar comes in, and there's the Pursuit. The Starmie, even though it did get the spin off, is out of here, and that leaves us in a 5-5 with an unrevealed for both. Pursuit and Ice Punch, respectively. Not so great for Star. He switches at this point, goes to his last poke, previously unrevealed Milo, takes an Ice Punch without an issue. However, a 10% freeze, not good for Star. Needs to thaw immediately to keep this decent, and unfortunately, he's going to stay frozen. Gliscor comes in, and it's been pretty reliable at stopping the Breloom, but Malekith doubles out. We end up with the T-Tar on the Gliscor. Milo comes in again, and it is Ice Punch, so Star makes the right read, but it's not going to matter unless he can catch the right RNG and thaw here. He would love to get a recover off, but unfortunately, he once again remains frozen, does not get the recover off. Breloom going to be met by Gliscor. And again, it's a double. Malekith pushing his advantage. He caught the hacks, and now he's pushing it. And again, it's Ice Punch, but the opportunity is running thin for Milo. It's down to just 24%. It stays in, and again, fails to thaw. And insult to injury, there's the critical hit to even deny him another opportunity. So, man, bad breaks for Star, and that's going to leave him in a pretty bad place as a whole. He's going to be down 4 to 5 here. Malekith with a clear lead in every way. He also has the hazards advantage, and he has an unrevealed. It's going to be very difficult for Star to come back from this situation. It doesn't feel like he's really done a lot wrong or like there's too much he can do, but things just keep going from bad to worse. There's a critical hit Ice Punch on Clefable for the insta knockout on that as well. Malekith catching a lot of breaks in this set, and I mean, again, you can't fault him for it. He's pressing his advantage. He's doing what he can with what the RNG is giving him, but Star is really just not catching a break, and this looks almost hopeless for him. He's not conceding, which I commend him for, and this game is not over, but it's damn close. The Gliscor is going to have to do major work for Star Master if he has any chance to win this, and he's now staring down his more boosted counterpart on the other side. There's a second dance, staring down a sleeping Pokemon. What a dream scenario for Malekith. There's the Stone Edge. He better wake. He doesn't. Star Master cannot catch any RNG. He doesn't wake. He doesn't get the sleep talk he's looking for. It's just all bad. Star Master getting rolled over in this game, and it really has not felt like there is much of anything that he can do. Here's the Gliscor switch. There's Mach Punch. Gliscor is the absolute only hope for Star Master, and it is a very, very faint hope, to say the least. But he is sticking it out to the end. He does not want to be eliminated in this way. If he is, which certainly looks like the most probable scenario at this point. Remember, he would get third, he would make money, so it's not all bad for him, but this is obviously not the way he would have wanted his tournament to end. He catches up a little bit by killing Rachi, but it is still a massive uphill battle for Star. We now know the full set. He does not have Swords Dance. It's going to make life even more difficult. Roost, Wing Attack, EQ, Taunt, and those Wing Attacks against the opposing Gliscor, which almost certainly has Roost, even though he hasn't shown it, it is pathetic. It is 17%. That is not going to get the job done. Playing it out as he should, his prerogative, but this looks all but over for Star. More Swords Dancing coming from Malekith. Sure, Taunt is going to prevent further dancing, but does that matter? The Stone Edge is at this point really adding up. 54%. Following one would kill, and a crit would kill him even from full. Stone Edge gets avoided, so Star does live to fight another day, but I think those days are very, very numbered. There is yet another Swords Dance boost. The taunt does not do anything there. Stardust has to dodge Stone Edges till the end of time. And there's still 5 PP on it, so I mean, it could happen. Stone Edge and Roost, if the following Stone Edge connects, we're done here, so he's going to need a dodge. And he gets it. Maybe, just maybe, Star making it interesting with the dodge, but it's still not looking pretty. The PP is getting low on Stone Edge for Malekith. He connects with this one as well. He's got 2 of them. Star once again will need to dodge here, and he does. This is getting a little wild. He dodges the Stone Edge again. Both of these Stone Edges would have ended the game, but he manages yet again to avoid it. And there is the final Stone Edge. Yes, it did connect, but it didn't find the crit or the kill. And now, all of a sudden, it's really interesting because Malekith's Gliscor is out of Stone Edges. If his last move is presumably Roost, this is interesting, like I said. It's grindy. It's not the most exciting content, but maybe, just maybe, with the Wing Attack Taunt combo, very, very slowly, maybe Gliscor can get the job done for Star Master, at least against the opposing Gliscor. Whether or not it can beat the rest of the team, that's yet to be determined. But Star actually has a shot in this game. Azelf is really low from before and is not a meaningful threat to Gliscor other than possibly blowing up on it. The Breloom definitely loses to the Gliscor, and then the T-Tar would lose as well. It would just get Earthquaked and killed unless it outspeeds and Ice Punches. But Star somehow has found a way to come back and maybe have a shot in this game. Like I said, it's slow, it's grindy, might not be the best viewing experience, but it is fascinating to me that Star somehow has made it this far. That Roost undid quite a bit of progress. Like I said, this is very grindy and slow, but yeah, I mean, Wing Attack has so much PP because it's such a garbage move. 56 PP. I mean, that's just... They're not doing a lot of damage, but that's so many more Wing Attacks than his opponent has Roosts. I mean, maybe, just maybe here. Can he win the Gliscor mirror match on the back of Wing Attack, of all things? The taunt ends here, so you would think there's a Roost coming. Does he call that an Earthquake? Nope, he goes for taunt. Earthquake there would have been interesting, because remember, when you Roost, you lose the flying typing, so he could have maybe gotten him there with an EQ. I don't know how much it would have done, but I think that would have been interesting. But he's going with the taunt plan again, and with more Wing Attacks. Checking on the PP as we go, since it has been Gliscor on Gliscor for what feels like forever now. Still a lot of Roosts in the tank, 13 of them, whereas we have 35 Wing Attacks still coming. There's also taunt, but it keeps ending before the Wing Attack gets the job done. Star at some point is going to have to, I think, predict one of these Roost turns and get an EQ off. I'm not clear why he's not doing that, but that has been not the route that he's taking for whatever reason. He obviously would know better than I would. Not only is he better than me in general, but he's certainly better and more knowledgeable DPP specifically. But I am curious, maybe you guys could tell me in the comments why he's not going for the EQ. But there is the struggle now happening for Malekith, because remember, he's taunted as well, so he can't use Dance or Roost, because he has to use one of his attacking PP. So maybe that was the plan for Star, to get him down to struggle. And now Gliscor doing work. Now Breloom faints. Here's a Zelf. Doubles back to Gliscor. Star doesn't fall for it. If it's a bluff at Boom, he doesn't fall for it. He takes out the other Gliscor, but he actually does have Boom. So that leaves us in a 2-1. This is crazy that Star's managed to come back this far. There's a big Earthquake, but not big enough, and it's going to leave us just in a 1v1 situation. And T-Tar is going to die to the hazards on the way in, so Malekith is going to just barely, with a 3% T-Tar, hang on. But man, it's crazy how far Star took that. It really, really looked like he had a legit shot at the comeback there. I don't know what the role was in that final clutch situation where the Gliscor had the Earthquake against this T-Tar. I don't know if that was a damage roll or if Star needed a crit. I mean, it's not like it survived at 1%. It survived at 3%. Granted, it could have been like a min roll or very close to it. I don't know the roll well enough. I don't know just how lucky or unlucky that really was. Like I said, Star potentially needed a crit there. But alternatively, it could have just been a bad roll and it was actually 50-50 or 75-25 in either direction or whatever it may have been. But bottom line, what I do know, being a non-DPP expert, I know from watching that was really, really close. And Star really pulled that back a hell of a lot further than I thought that he could have. He almost won that game. He really, truly almost won that game. But, as we've gone over a million times on this channel, almost is great. Valiant effort, pat on the back, but almost doesn't count. He does not win. Malekith wins, and Malekith is going to win the set 2-0. That's going to eliminate Star in third place. He's going to take home 20% of our overall jackpot, which I would assume is probably just going to be what it is now. I doubt we're going to get any late donations, but we are still taking them if you'd like. And that's going to set up a final between Spanish countrymen Malekith and Solwind. The three Spaniards in this tour are going to finish first, second, and fourth, which is an incredible and dominant run from those guys. So hats off to them. Now, to be very clear about the grand finals, Solwind has not lost yet. Malekith has lost once. So Malekith would have to beat Solwind in 2 sets, whereas Solwind would only have to win the one time in order to be the champ. The winner's going to get 50% of the pot, and the second place guy is going to get 30%. But we'll go over all of that when it comes. In the meantime, Starmaster out in third place. Malekith wins the set 2-0. He's on to the grand finals against Solwind. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up if you've enjoyed the tour. I'll see you guys in the grand finals.